When you picture Grandpa's garden, you probably imagine rows of carrots, tomatoes, or maybe some crisp lettuce. But what if I told you Grandpa also grew veggies so strange and unusual they seem more at home in a fantasy novel than in a backyard plot? From oyster-flavored roots to broccoli shaped like fractals, these heirlooms were tasty, healthy, and truly fascinating. Here are 20 weird vegetables your grandfather grew that you've probably never even heard of. Number 20. Oca, New Zealand yam. Oca, also known as the New Zealand yam, might just be the strangest tuber Grandpa ever grew. Originally cultivated in the Andes, these knobby, colorful roots resemble small potatoes, but offer an entirely different taste. Tangy, crisp, and slightly citrusy. Grandpa valued oca for its hardiness, as it could tolerate poor soils and frosty nights, making it perfect for temperamental climates. The roots can be eaten raw, pickled, or roasted, and their flavor sweetens beautifully after exposure to sunlight. Besides their unique taste, oca tubers also store exceptionally well through winter, providing nutritious meals when other garden produce was scarce. While modern gardens tend to overlook them, oca remains a treasured heirloom, and growing this peculiar veggie today is sure to reconnect you with a forgotten culinary tradition. Number 19. Salsifi, oyster root. Grandpa loved vegetables with a surprise, and salsifi certainly delivered. Often called oyster root, this peculiar vegetable might not catch your eye with its slender brown appearance, but beneath its rough exterior lies a remarkable oyster-like flavor. It tastes mildly sweet and nutty, with a creamy texture that made it ideal for hearty soups, chowders, or simply roasted with butter and herbs. In Grandpa's day, salsifi was particularly prized for winter meals, as it stored exceptionally well in cool root cellars. It even held a reputation as a versatile medicinal plant used to aid digestion and improve general health. Though largely forgotten by modern kitchens, this old-fashioned vegetable remains a hidden gem worth planting for its unmatched taste and intriguing culinary potential. Number 18. Tigernut Chufa. Tiger nuts might sound like a peculiar choice for Grandpa's garden, but these tiny tubers were once a cherished crop. Also known as chufa, these small, wrinkled root vegetables grow underground, resembling miniature potatoes with stripes. Despite their name, they're neither nuts nor related to tigers, but they pack a sweet, nutty taste reminiscent of almonds or coconut. Grandpa grew them for their versatility and hardiness, as tiger nuts thrived even in challenging conditions. In earlier times, they were eaten fresh, roasted as snacks, ground into flour, or soaked to make a delicious, creamy drink known as horchata. Rich in fiber, vitamins, and beneficial oils, tiger nuts were an invaluable source of nutrition, making them a worthy addition to modern gardens for their unique flavor and impressive health benefits. Number 17. Cherokee purple tomatoes. Grandpa's tomatoes weren't always bright red. Sometimes they were deep purple, making neighbors pause in wonder. Cherokee purple tomatoes are an heirloom variety with a striking dark hue and an unforgettable smoky sweet flavor. Originating from Native American gardens, they became beloved for their rich taste and juicy texture, perfect for slicing onto sandwiches or enjoying straight from the vine. Unlike standard tomatoes, their coloration varies from purplish red to near black, and their interiors showcase a beautiful, marbled appearance. Grandpa would have appreciated their resistance to disease and steady productivity even in tough seasons. While modern supermarket tomatoes often prioritize uniformity over taste, Cherokee purples remain a flavorful link to our gardening heritage, worthy of rediscovery by anyone seeking authenticity and depth in their vegetable patch. Number 16. Keltus, stem lettuce. While regular lettuce was common in Grandpa's garden, he likely also grew a more obscure variety known as Keltus. This unusual vegetable, sometimes called stem lettuce, is cherished not for its leaves, but for its crunchy, asparagus-like stalks. Keltus's thick stem offers a mild nutty flavor, making it perfect for stir-fries, salads, or simply sliced raw as a refreshing snack. Grandpa valued Celtuce for its resilience and efficiency, as it could withstand hotter weather without bolting like traditional lettuce varieties. Its nutritious leaves were also edible, often sautéed or used in a similar manner to spinach. Despite its quirky appearance, Keltus was an excellent addition to home gardens of the past, providing both versatility and dependable harvests. Today, its uniqueness and ease of cultivation make it a worthy heirloom to rediscover. Number 15. Black radishes. In Grandpa's vegetable plot, black radishes stood out for their boldness, both visually and flavor-wise. Sporting tough, charcoal-colored skin, these radishes weren't shy about their pungent, peppery taste, significantly sharper than their red cousins. Beneath that rough exterior lay crisp white flesh, packed with a spicy kick that added zest to Grandpa's meals. Traditionally, he would have sliced them thinly into salads, roasted them to mellow their bite, or pickled them for winter use. Black radishes were also valued medicinally, known to soothe digestive issues and aid immunity, making them a common sight in older gardens. Though their rugged look may deter some modern gardeners, black radishes offer a compelling blend of culinary and health benefits, reminding us why Grandpa proudly planted these earthy, fiery roots season after season. Number 14. Lofah, vegetable sponge. You might recognize a loofah as a bath scrubber, but did you know Grandpa grew these in his garden? Lofah, also known as vegetable sponge, is a vine-grown gourd that's edible when young, tasting much like zucchini, with a delicate, slightly sweet flavor. Grandpa would pick them up early and slice them into stir-fries or soups. However, the real magic happened when the loofah matured and dried. Once peeled, it transformed into a natural sponge used for washing dishes or exfoliating skin, an eco-friendly solution long before it became trendy. Loofah vines are vigorous climbers, ideal for fences or trellises, making them both practical and ornamental. This dual-purpose veggie was invaluable in Grandpa's garden, providing food and household essentials in one plant, and it's well worth reviving in your garden today. Number 13. Moon and Stars, watermelon. Grandpa's watermelon patch wasn't complete without the enchanting Moon and Stars variety. Distinctive and captivating, its dark green rind, dotted with vibrant yellow moons and smaller stars, made each melon a unique work of art. Beyond its whimsical exterior, this heirloom was prized for its juicy, ruby-red flesh that was remarkably sweet, crisp, and bursting with refreshing flavor. It was the star attraction at family picnics and gatherings. The Moon and Stars watermelon was particularly valued by older generations because it thrived even under tough conditions, including hot summers and drought periods. Each melon's celestial patterns also helped Grandpa determine ripeness at a glance. Though largely forgotten by modern supermarkets, growing this heirloom connects gardeners today to the magic and nostalgia of past gardens, making it a worthy and delightful comeback. Number 12. Cardune. If you've never heard of Cardune, you're not alone. This prickly giant looks like a thistle, but is actually a cousin of the artichoke. Grandpa grew it for its thick, silvery stalks rather than its flowers. With a flavor described as a mix between celery and artichoke, Cardune was a special treat in his kitchen. He'd peel and boil the stalks to soften their bitter edge before frying or baking them into creamy casseroles. In older gardens, Cardune's towering height and dramatic leaves made it a showpiece as well as a meal. It thrived in cooler months and resisted many pests. Though it takes patience to prepare, Cardune rewarded Grandpa's efforts with its tender, earthy taste. Few vegetables today can match its bold flavor and striking presence in the garden. Number 11. Walking Stick Kale. Walking stick kale isn't your everyday leafy green. Grandpa grew this giant kale for its strong central stalks that reached up to 10 feet tall, sturdy enough to craft into actual walking sticks after harvest. Beyond its novelty, the broad green leaves were tender and mild, perfect for soups, sautés, and hearty winter stews. As the plant grew taller, Grandpa would strip the lower leaves for the kitchen while the stalk thickened. It thrived in poor soil and cool weather, making it reliable during lean seasons. This kale wasn't just food, it was utility, with each harvested stalk polished into canes, handles, or garden stakes. Today, it's rarely seen outside heritage seed exchanges, but its productivity, resilience, and unique double purpose made it a brilliant choice in old homestead gardens. Number 10. Yard-long beans. These beans are true garden marvels. Yard-long beans, also called asparagus beans, can grow up to 3 feet in length, curling around trellises with impressive vigor. Grandpa planted them along fences or handmade bamboo frames, watching them stretch out like dangling green ropes. Their flavor is mild, yet nutty, holding up beautifully in quick stir-fries or gently steamed for a crisp bite. Unlike regular green beans, they thrived in the heat of late summer, continuing to produce when other beans slowed down. Each harvest was like unrolling nature's green scrolls, and Grandpa would chop them into manageable pieces for curries, soups, and pickled relishes. They grew quickly, demanded little fuss, and added a graceful look to any backyard garden. If you want a crop that's productive, tasty, and dramatic, yard-long beans never disappoint. Number 9. Skirit. Skirit might sound like a pirate's shout, but it was one of Grandpa's hidden garden treasures. This ancient root vegetable grows in clusters of slender white roots, each tasting mildly sweet, like a cross between carrots and parsnips. Grandpa loved how Skirit didn't need perfect soil. It grew well in loamy or sandy beds, thriving quietly alongside other root crops. The roots were scrubbed clean and added to stews, roasted whole with herbs, or simply boiled and served with butter for a rich, earthy side dish. Skirit's flavor deepened after the first frost, making winter meals extra hearty. Although it's rare in modern markets, this perennial root once kept families fed through cold months. If you're seeking an old-world vegetable that's productive, delicious, and nearly forgotten, Skirit deserves a place in your garden rows once again. Number 8. Pink banana squash. Pink banana squash isn't just a tongue twister, it's a garden showstopper. This long banana-shaped squash grows to an impressive 2 to 3 feet, with pastel pink skin that stands out among typical gourds. Inside, its flesh is bright orange, smooth, and sweet with a hint of nuttiness. Grandpa grew pink banana squash for hearty autumn stews, creamy soups, and sweet pies. Its mild flavor paired perfectly with cinnamon and nutmeg for desserts or garlic and sage for savory dishes. One squash could feed the family for days, and it stored well in cool pantries through winter. The vines sprawled across garden beds, creating a carpet of gigantic fruit by late summer. Forgotten by many today, pink banana squash was once a pantry essential for stretching meals during lean times. Number 7. Romanesco Broccoli. Romanesco broccoli resembles a design created by aliens, with its hypnotic lime green spirals forming a stunning fractal pattern. Grandpa might not have known what fractals were, but he knew this veggie was something special. Romanesco tasted like a milder, nuttier version of cauliflower, which made it ideal for roasting, steaming, or adding raw to salads for a crunchy texture. Its unique structure allowed florets to snap apart cleanly, making prep easy for soups or casseroles. Romanesco thrived in cooler seasons, producing reliable heads when other crops struggled. Back then, neighbors would wander over just to admire the numerical beauty in Grandpa's garden rows. Though supermarkets rarely carry it, Romanesco's taste, nutrition, and ornamental appeal make it a vegetable worth rediscovering and growing in your backyard beds today. Number 6. Celeriac. Celeriac, or celery root, is the knobby, rough-skinned cousin of regular celery. Grandpa grew it for its versatility in the kitchen. Beneath its gnarled exterior lies a creamy white flesh with a mild, slightly nutty celery flavor. It was a staple for hearty winter meals. Peeled, cubed, and boiled, celeriac transforms into a silky mash, often blended with potatoes for an earthy twist. Grated raw, it adds crunch to slaws, while roasted chunks become caramelized and sweet. Unlike celery, celeriac stores for months without wilting, making it invaluable during the cold seasons when fresh greens were scarce. Grandpa prized it because a single root could stretch multiple meals, and its subtle aroma enhanced soups and broths. Though overlooked today, this humble root was once a secret weapon in the family kitchen. Number 5. Cucamelons. Tiny like marbles, but bold in flavor. Cucamelons were Grandpa's quirky crop that guests always asked about. Looking like miniature watermelons, they taste like cucumbers with a hint of lemon. Grandpa grew them up with handmade twig trellises to keep the vines neat and fruit clean. He'd toss them into fresh salads, pickle jars, or even eat them straight while walking through rows of beans. In hot summers, when cucumbers wilted, cucamelons thrived, producing hundreds of these crunchy morsels. Their resilient vines resisted pests and diseases better than regular cucumbers, too. Grandma loved them because they stored well in brine for winter stews. Some called them mouse melons or Mexican sour gherkins. Whatever you call them, these grape-sized wonders brought a zesty crunch to any dish and a smile to Grandpa's sun-creased face at every harvest. Number 4. Ground cherries. Grandpa knew ground cherries were the secret garden candy. Hidden beneath their papery husks like little golden gifts, these fruits taste like a mix of pineapple and vanilla. He'd plant them along garden borders where their low, sprawling habit wouldn't crowd the taller crops. Ground cherries were perfect for pies, jams, and snacking straight from the vine while hoeing rows under the sun. Their natural sweetness intensified as they ripened and fell to the ground, hence their name. Kids loved peeling back the husks to reveal the sticky amber treasures inside. Beyond desserts, Grandma sometimes cooked them into savory sauces for pork and game. Despite being easy to grow and drought-tolerant, these sweet bites are rarely seen today. But plant a patch in your garden and you'll quickly understand why Grandpa always had them growing by the fence. Number 3. Fennel. Fennel was Grandpa's fragrant garden gem, standing tall with its feathery green fronds swaying in the breeze. He grew it not just for the crisp white bulbs, but for the licorice-scented seeds and leaves that flavored so many of Grandpa's dishes. The bulbs added a sweet crunch to salads, while roasted fennel melted into buttery softness, perfect alongside meats. Grandpa often chewed the seeds after meals to freshen his breath and aid digestion. Bees loved the delicate yellow flowers of fennel, filling the garden with life. Back then, fennel wasn't fancy. It was practical. It thrived with little fuss, tolerated poor soils, and gave harvest after harvest through hot summers. Today, fennel feels gourmet, but to Grandpa, it was just another reliable crop, filling baskets with crisp bulbs and fragrant seeds that kept the kitchen pantry stocked with flavor all year long. Number 2. Stinging nettles. Most kids ran from stinging nettles, but Grandpa saw them as a green gold mine. Wearing thick gloves, he'd harvest their young tops before they flowered, tossing them into boiling water to neutralize their sting. Nettles cooked down into a rich, earthy, spinach-like green, packed with vitamins and minerals. Grandma used them for soups, teas, and even spring tonics to help cleanse the sluggishness of winter. Grandpa believed nettles toughened the blood and kept aches away. He'd also soak nettles in rainwater barrels, brewing a strong fertilizer tea that turned tomatoes deep green. Beyond food and feed, nettles nourished the soil with their deep roots, mining nutrients other plants couldn't reach. To most people, they were just prickly weeds, but to Grandpa, Nettles were a free, nutritious crop that fed the family, strengthened the garden, and reminded everyone that sometimes the best food grows wild right under your nose. Number 1. Crookneck Squash. Crookneck squash was one vegetable. Grandpa always grew near the back porch, its bright yellow fruits curling like question marks under broad, spiny leaves. This old heirloom variety had thin, bumpy skin that turned tender with cooking, needing no peeling at all. Grandma loved it sliced into stews or simply sautéed in butter with a sprinkle of salt and pepper. Its flavor was mild and sweet, a perfect match for summer dinners. Grandpa chose crookneck over other squashes because it produced heavily, filling baskets day after day without tiring the soil. He'd often joke that if you planted one hill, you'd feed the neighborhood. The vines needed room to sprawl, but their blossoms fed bees and their fruits filled bellies. Today, many skip crookneck for smooth hybrids, but Grandpa knew this squash's humble taste and heavy yields made it worth every inch of garden space it claimed. And there you have it, 20 weirdest veggies Grandpa grew that most folks have never even heard of. Which one would you try first? Make sure to subscribe and join us for the next video. See you soon!